Okay, so I hate to have to start off topic again for the second straight week, but yeah, obviously I am aware of what happened with MoviePass. Basically, I kind of initially thought it was just an outage because that's what was happening. Uh, you know, I it had happened the day before I was going to go see Teen Titans Go, and it was still kind of in effect, and I hadn't known all the details yet. So I went and saw Teen Titans Go. Got the notes, was doing the review, and that's when a lot of that stuff started to filter to me. So obviously I've canceled my membership to MoviePass, but mainly because the $15 a month didn't bug me so much. It was the blackout dates for 2 weeks. It's like, well, I can't review a movie that's 2 weeks old. No one cares by that point. So yeah, in all likelihood, I'm going to be switching over to the AMC Stubs plan pretty soon here. I haven't yet, but hopefully that'll help me maintain the weekly movie reviews. Might wind up changing the schedule a little bit, not entirely sure, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, Christopher Robin, basically hook set in Winnie the Pooh. The film basically begins with Christopher Robin getting a goodbye party because he's being sent off to boarding school. He tells Pooh that I'll never forget him. Then, of course, he winds up forgetting him. We sort of see a passage of time. Christopher Robin's father dies, which means he becomes the man of the house. He meets a woman named Evelyn, who becomes his wife. They have a daughter named Madeline. He goes to fight in the war. He comes back and he becomes a workaholic efficiency manager for a luggage company. And his boss basically puts the screws to him, says we need to cut costs as much as we can, because this is just after World War II, and people in England aren't traveling very much. There's a lot of impetus for that, so there's no real impetus to buy luggage. And a lot of that sort of, it gets piled onto him. It's like, if we don't, we might have to, fire you and all of your staff. So he's very workaholic, work-focused, and it's neglected his family. And it's that point that Winnie the Pooh re-enters Christopher Robin's life. And, I mean, if you've seen the trailers, you know what it is. For the most part, Christopher Robin seems to take it kind of in stride. Like, he's not so much in denial, in denial, in denial. It's more like he's in denial, but then he immediately accepts that Winnie the Pooh is there, but he knows he has to get him back to the 100-acre wood. He takes Winnie the Pooh back to Sussex, where his wife and daughter are vacationing without him. And he kind of tries to slip around there. He eventually gets back to the 100-acre wood, and it's really gloomy because he's been gone for so long, and he's a changed person. He's not the sort of fun-loving kid he was. And he and Pooh wind up getting separated briefly, but he eventually reunites everyone. They initially believe him to be a heffalump, and they believe the company he works for, Winslow, to be Woozle. And so when he leaves to go, make the presentation to hopefully save everyone's jobs, they're they're afraid a Woozle is going to eat him for breakfast. However, as his briefcase got spilled at one point, it spreads all over the 100-acre woods, and Tigger doesn't gather those up. Instead, he puts a whole bunch of other things in the briefcase instead, and he uses the important documents to make a raincoat for Eeyore. So they have to race back to London. At this point, they encounter Madeline. Big shenanigans ensue. They get back to London. Christopher Robin manages to save his job by pitching the idea of actually just saving people on vacation, because his boss, who's like the son of the founder of the company, was just goofing off all weekend. He doesn't care about the business actually succeeding. He just wants to make money. So he says, look, if you give your employees paid vacation, they can show all the luggage to people who are going on vacation, and that will kind of spur them to go on vacation and buy luggage. Like I said, there's a lot of other things. Like, and they're not, Pooh and the gang are not hallucinations. They are really there. They're really talking. They're really characters in the story. So overall, the film moves a lot slower than the trailer would seem to indicate. Like, the trailer seems to indicate that a lot, like the first half of the movie, or like the first bit of the movie, is searching through the 100-acre wood, but really that's about half the movie. And it's, again, it's Christopher Robin kind of coming to terms with, well, especially if he's in the 100-acre wood, he needs to be more like the Christopher Robin of old. He can't be the Christopher Robin of the adult, basically. Or the old Christopher Robin, how about that? Obviously there's also some kind of geek connections through this. Obviously, Haley Atwell is Evelyn, Christopher Robin's wife. Toby Jones has a couple of appearances. He's the voice of Owl, and he's like a underling to Christopher Robin in the film. Yeah, the cat got up. Mark Gatiss is Winslow, the boss who is putting the nails to Christopher Robin, and Mark Gatiss from Doctor Who. He's Mycroft Holmes from Sherlock. With Doctor Who, he was really kind of a big part of the fandom. He is the guy who I believe he like co-founded Big Finish and the audio plays that are done too. And he's written episodes and he's starred in episodes. So yeah, he's been a big part with the the rebirth of Doctor Who. Also, speaking of Doctor Who, Peter Capaldi is the voice of Rabbit, who's basically in the first half of the film. He does not go to London. It's just Piglet, Eeyore, Pooh, and Tigger, and that's kind of it. Obviously it's great to hear. They got Jim Cummings back for Winnie the Pooh and Tigger. For the love of Pete, I can't remember who voiced Piglet. I don't have my phone with me right now, so I can't just look that up. So I'll just put it right here. For the most part, the voice acting is really good. I would say this though: if you're going to this to see something kind of whimsical and with a lot of humor, it's really not. It actually plays a bit more maudlin than a lot of people would think. They really kind of go more for the heartstrings. Madeline's story arc is Christopher Robin is basically trying to turn her into him, for lack of a better term. He's sending her off to boarding school. He got sent off to boarding school at the beginning of the film, but she doesn't really want to go. She actually wants to stay and be a kid and spend time with her father, who is always at work. And that gets resolved at the end of the movie. Haley Atwell's Evelyn is good, but unfortunately she is underutilized. Mark Gatiss as Winslow is really good because they do call him a woozle, which is a sleeky creature who worms his way into everything, but only wants the reward. He doesn't want to put the effort in to actually get the reward, and that kind of goes into everything. And like I said, it is also kind of strange in the sense that, again, when the 100-acre wood creatures are in the real world, they are interacting. Like, yeah, there's the scene where Tigger and Piglet and Eeyore crash into the windshield of the car, and that's in there. Exactly, and like they're really there. Like Evelyn can see them. They interact with the cab driver. They interact with the police officer. People see them talking. People see their eyes moving. People see their limbs moving to an extent when they walk. So again, it's like, and it is kind of played for. They're kind of double takes, and like, what is going on? Also, there's some times where Pooh is maybe a little too obtuse for his own good. Like I get the idea that he's trying, in a way, Pooh is actually trying to teach Christopher Robin the lesson. But early on, like when he's trying to get to Sussex, like Pooh is insistent on buying this balloon, and he acts up, and then he kind of wanders off, and Christopher Robin has to chase him down. And it's like, that gets a little insufferable at sometimes. But overall, it is an entertaining movie. I would just say, just don't expect this to be like uproariously funny and humorous. It really does play a little more straight-laced than you would think. I am going to be giving Christopher Robin a B.
This Thanksgiving weekend on Channel 5 is a sports weekend you won't soon forget. It begins Thursday with the NFL, and Friday it's top college football, followed by the Down East Women's Basketball Classic featuring the University of Maine. Then on Saturday, the Maine Black Bears take on the defending 1AA football champions, the Georgia Southern Eagles. And that's followed by the concluding games of the Down East Women's Classic. On Sunday, it's NFL doubleheader action featuring the Patriots at 1 and the Giants at 4. It's the best in sports this Thanksgiving weekend on Channel 5.
Okay, trailer time, and not as many trailers. Pretty bereft here. We only had 5 trailers instead of the usual 6. We had Axel again. We had Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet again. We had Dog Days again. Speaking of Dog Days, a woman brought her Yorkshire Terrier into the theater. Like, it looked initially like she was concealing it and trying to hide it, and as the movie played on, at one point she got up, I guess, to use the restroom, and she actually walked out just carrying the dog. She didn't cover it or anything, and it's like, okay, that's weird. I didn't know you could do that. I don't know if that's really such a good idea. It just, I wouldn't. It's 90 degrees outside right now, so I would not advocate leaving a dog in a car, but you should be able to. Anyway, and then the last trailer was Goosebumps 2 Haunted Halloween, and that was the only new trailer we got. So, like I said, hopefully by next week I will have joined the AMC Stubs program. I still plan on reviewing the Meg. Obviously, hopefully I can join the program. Like I said, if I join the AMC Stubs program, it shouldn't affect the review schedule too terribly much. The only difference being that certain reviews might not actually get done, or other movies that come out that weekend will get reviewed. In fact, I'd say the AMC Stubs program is probably even a little bit preferential to MoviePass. It's more expensive, but you can see up to 3 movies a week. I think it was 3 movies a week, and so when you have weekends like in November, I think it's Thanksgiving weekend. That weekend, Creed 2 and Wreck-It Ralph 2, Ralph Breaks the Internet come out. So again, that could play into like, oh well, I can see this movie one day and this movie the next. Likewise, just before Christmas, like the last big release schedule for the season, you have Mary Poppins Returns, Aquaman, Alita Battle Angel, and Bumblebee all come out on like the same, within like a couple days of each other. So again, that could kind of help balance things out. Like I might not see Mary Poppins Returns. I haven't really seen any trailers for that, but again, like that's something that could maybe play to an advantage. Okay, so the next video up after this is going to be the random trade review on the Starman Omnibus Volume 2. I've got all the stuff shot for that. Yes, I shot it earlier today. I've got the audio recorded. I just need to get the scans, and then I can start assembling that, and hopefully it'll be up on Sunday. See you all next time. Hey guys, is there a movie you want me to tackle? Even if it's some stinker like Baywatch or the Emoji Movie or something else? Check out my Patreon at Sleepy Time for Cat Productions. See how you can make that happen. Okay, you made it this far. Here's some more footage of the cat. One up? Okay. Yeah, I need you to just lie down. That's not lying down. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Just lie down. Just lie down. Oh, careful. Okay.